let's take a look at March, because March was, as always, this year, a complete time of madness, and I think it's good to point out...
It was a good start for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a fantastic start for us. And the more
Our March was brilliant.
Yeah, the more things change, the more things stay the same. But there was a big change for us, and I think it was probably one of the most consequential things that's happened for the business, which was that we got demonetized in March, and it sucked. And but we're
but we're still here.
Yeah, we're still here. Thanks to everybody. So thank you very much to every single one of you watching right now who's been supporting us ever since this happened. Thank you to everybody who has contributed, who has subscribed, and also to everybody who's been going on the merch store since it started and getting merch. It's all really helping to keep us afloat so that we can keep doing what we're doing. So thanks very much for that. I thought I'd start off with that. That's because it's bad news, but it just shows the kindness and generosity that we've got from our audience. So thank you again for that. But what was going on? Because we covered January, and it was, as you said, it laid the groundwork for everything terrible that went on afterwards. And I'm
not convinced it was entirely terrible, actually. Now Callum makes the point. But sorry, go on.
Now Callum showed you some funny memes.
No. Anyway, Callum.
Yeah. Because I can't help but go through all of the news that's been going on over the past year and see it and just think to myself, everything is the same.
Yeah.
We're in a cycle. It's a constant, endless cycle that repeats over and over again. Like, what happened in March? Well, what did happen in March? Well, Suella Braverman, however you say it, went to Rwanda and got a photograph taken of her laughing at some jokes, and the left decided that, oh my God, this means she's just like Adolf Hitler. Do you know who else laughed at jokes, was notorious for it? Himmler.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, this was them assuming that the Rwanda plan involved machetes.
Yeah.
That's all they know about Rwanda.
Yeah, and then... But what's actually come of that? What's been the end result of that? Which
absolutely nothing.
The only thing that's changed is Braverman isn't in there anymore, and still nothing has happened with Rwanda. And now they're looking to maybe get us out of the European Court of Human Rights, which is going to take 4 years, and
they'll do nothing.
And deadlock. And then even if we do get out of it, they'll still find another reason for the civil service to go, oh, we can't do it. There's this obscure law no one's ever heard of.
Remember, it also cost us 150 million or something.
It didn't cost us anything. We made a generous donation to a great country that definitely needed it, and in return we got nothing.
I wouldn't even call it a shakedown. It's like you're walking past someone mildly threatening.
Not even threatening. Rwanda's just standing there going, hello, how are you? And we're like...
We ran up to it and be like, I want to give you money!
Like, Rwanda's totally innocent bystander in this political catastrophe.
Yeah, someone's standing there, hello, someone broke into my house, quick, take this money and then take them in. Okay, takes the money. In fact, actually, just
don't
keep
worry
the
about
money.
Taking them in. Yeah, just keep
the money if you want.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
I hate this country sometimes.
Yeah. What else was going on in March? Well, migrants were stabbing people for no particular reason. That's not changed. This one was a particularly bad one because
they're all bad.
But... but you covered this one. This one was remarkable that the migrant wanted to get deported, was unable to get deported. So because he wanted to get deported because he came to England expecting to get even more benefits, didn't get as much as he wanted, and said, screw it, I can't get deported, so I'll stab someone to get deported. Still didn't get deported.
Hello, Ireland. Welcome to March 2023. You've just arrived. Your non-deported migrants can't get themselves deported no matter how many people they stab.
Yeah. Josh decided to point out that the UK is ever more becoming an Islamic caliphate because a 14-year-old autistic child accidentally scuffed the Quran. Yeah. And the entire Islamic community of the school decided that this is our problem and we need to get the parents to apologize personally.
Yeah, this is awful.
That's fantastic. But then also we found out some genuinely very important news that really needed to be covered. Like, did you know the countryside is full of white people?
No.
This is a problem.
I thought it was full of, I don't know.
Local brown man shouts at white people, says, why aren't you brown? Why am I in the countryside in England and it's full of English people? Arr!
You know, I'm actually on board. No, I agree with them. The countryside is racist.
And it should stay that way.
No, don't go. Don't go. It's just racist. You won't like it.
Yeah, especially don't go to where this guy was.
Stay in the cities.
Reporting from Stroud. Yeah. I mean, that was the shit. I go to Stroud.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It's really lovely.
Yeah, I know. It's really racist. No. Don't listen to Harry, right?
unlivable.
Well, that's the thing. I got there. I thought, wow, this is really pretty. Shame about all the SWAT stickers, though.
Okay, you saved it, Harry. Well done.
So you know what? Call it a miss.
What's the UK Board of Tourism? I have some new ideas.
And similarly, in the broad category of racial and ethnic studies that we occasionally dip our toe into, Callum decided to take a look at the chicken washing phenomenon. When I wasn't aware of this before, but a shocking number of people were aware of it. But this was still kind of when a lot of people realized this happened. The internet discovered that for some reason in America, a lot of black people wash their chicken before they eat it. Yeah, with soap and bleach.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're really underselling that, because washing something implies running it under the tap, right?
I mean, that's weird enough if you've got a store-bought chicken.
Sure, that's weird, but okay, fair enough. I mean, I can totally see that you've got something from the store. Okay, who knows? Just give it a quick rinse under the tap. Fair enough. I could understand.
That's still weird to me.
Yeah, no, it is weird. I don't bother with it myself, but
crack it out the.
But then you break out the shampoo and conditioner.
Yeah, just literally.
They should give it a nice rinse.
Bleach and washing up liquid. What are you doing?
Clean chicken. What
am I doing? You know,
I think we found out 3 primary things, which is one, a lot of Black Americans for some reason don't know what seasoning is made of.
Yes, yeah, that's another. Good.
I mean, that's what this woman became temporarily famous for.
She doesn't season her chicken with garlic and peppers. She's like, I literally have garlic and peppers.
Yes, but it's not dried garlic.
It didn't come out of a tub. Yeah.
Yep. So they don't know what seasoning is made of. A lot of them don't know that chicken is, if you buy it from a shop, it's probably fine to eat already.
We have food standards, yeah.
Yeah, and then afterwards, they don't. A lot of them don't change the batteries in their fire alarms.
Yes.
So that was an interesting thing to find out.
Cultural exchange.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Right. So I remember thinking about this. It's like, how is it that black and white people in America can live side by side for 400 years and not know about this about each other? Like, really just speak to segregation in America.
Yeah, they don't live next to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
But also, I mean, we live next to lots of other ethnic groups in England. I mean, we didn't ask to, but we do.
I've no idea what...
I don't know what goes on in the kitchen of your average Pakistani family. No. And honestly, I don't really want to.
I don't know anything about the ceiling bird in an Indian household, you know? So, yeah, you're right. It's like... But that's just what I found remarkable of it. It really does speak about segregation.
As a result of this, Scott Adams decided to say, let's keep it this way.
And again, a man can be cancelled, but can he be proven wrong?
Well, that's the thing. Has he been proven wrong since? I don't know. I know that it was because of a Rasmussen poll that came out, where black people in America were surprisingly split on whether it's okay to say it's okay to be white. And Scott Adams extrapolated from this that, well, if a lot of them don't think that it's okay for you to be white, then maybe don't be near them.
Yeah, maybe don't live around people who hate you because of the color of your skin. And where was his column syndicated?
It was Washington Times.
Yeah, Washington.
A lot of places. Yeah. It was syndicated across a bunch of publications, and they all took him off.
Yeah, they were like, being against racism, not on our watch. You're cancelled.
They're like, we're only for anti-white racism over here. Thank you very much. So can.
But their position was expressly pro-racism, because Scott Adams was expressly anti-racism. Anyway,
well, no, I mean, he was expressly anti-living near people who despise you and are liable to try and hurt you.
But despise you because of the color of your skin.
Well, yeah.
You know, that's the thing. It's Scott Adams is like, look, I think that when half of a group says, I mean, like, there's always you sit down at a table and there are 10 people, and one of them's a Nazi, then everyone at that table's a Nazi, and then it's like, okay, but what if 50% of the people are Nazis? It's like, then you're a racist.
Well, that's the thing. To be explicit with it, I think the Rasmussen poll was 53% of them said that it was okay, who responded to that poll. And then the other 47% was split between those who said it really isn't okay to say that and those who didn't really know.
Right.
Which I think, Callum, you pointed out in this segment that even those who are saying, "Oh, I'm not entirely sure," that's still that's not a great position to be in, although it's obviously very politically charged language. Still, though, what else was going on in March? Well, there was outright terrorism going on. where this was the Aubrey. I forget what her name was.
Oh, the trans shooter.
The trans shooter at Covenant Christian High School, who was immediately tried to be covered up. What the motivations were by the media.
We finally got the manifesto.
Yeah, Stephen Crowder released, I think it was only part of the manifesto, but he did release the manifesto, and the pages that were released to the public are exactly what
I hate white people. I hate straight people. I hate normal people. I want to kill their children.
Yes. But of course, the first thing that the media needed to focus on was, well, I mean, the school probably was transphobic, so weren't those children and teachers asking for it?
Not in my opinion, but what do I know?
I mean, you don't hate journalists enough. This is something that we really need to hammer home. You might think that you hate the dirty, dirty smear merchants enough, but you really don't. Because in all likelihood, you watching this right now, if you were murdered by someone like this, the media would scramble to try and find a reason why it's justified.
Well, do you remember them? Because they shot 6 people and there were 7 victims or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because they shot themselves. It's like, okay. All right.
Did the shooter shoot herself?
Oh no, she got shot.
Got shot by the police because the police actually, unlike the
victim of police shootings.
Yeah. So there were 7 victims basically.
Probably unarmed, maybe.
Well, yeah, and the police officers being basically like Chad McChaddington as well.
Yeah, I saw the footage that was released of it because they had the camera footage, and it was really, really impressive. They were very efficient with the whole thing. Yeah. And then I thought it's good to point out that this was the month in which we decided to become very Swindon-centric. Being someone who lives in Swindon at the moment, it's something that's very important to pay attention to. And this was when we found out that, unsurprisingly, Swindon Council wants to trans your kids.
Yep.
This actually had somewhat of an effect, if I remember correctly, because Connor was reporting on this. We found the documentation that they released online for the sex education guidelines in Swindon schools, which was exactly what you expected to, teaching them queer theory, degeneracy, showing them sexual imagery when they're far too young for such a thing, and telling them about Tavistock as well. All the guidelines are exactly what you expected. And the week after this, I think they took down the page on their website. I've not done a follow-up on that to see what's gone on, if they're still doing that.
That doesn't mean it's gone away, and that means they're ashamed of it.
Yeah, it means they're ashamed of it. But there was, at least in the short term, a response. And then I covered the absolute Swindon money pit, which was the council tax leaflet that we received telling us.
So much.
Well, they were bragging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
80% of the money that we take off of you is just going for redistribution.
Yep. £11.8 million on 42 special needs children.
I mean, I hope they're buying them mansions.
I don't think that money's been going to them directly. I think there's quite a few intermediaries taking a nice, big, hefty pocket.
Just remember when you pay your council tax.
And also, as part of this was a really fun one as well, which is that I found out through looking into it. There was only about £60,000 to £70,000 being spent on aesthetic projects around Swindon, where they were keeping the natural spaces beautiful and clean. But I found out through looking into the government website and checking into the charity donations that Swindon Borough Council, alongside with Wiltshire Council, collectively were giving £50,000 to a local migrant charity called the Harbour Project. And that'll be from our council tax and other taxes. So it's not enough that the national government, the Tories, decide to take my tax money and use it to screw me up the arse in various inventive ways. The local council also feels the need to do that.
Yep.
And after seeing all this, it's very interesting that on the Swindon Advertiser, very recently to when we're recording this article came out where it was talking about the Swindon Advertiser saying that 1,230 businesses in Swindon ceased trading in 2022, up from 1,135 the year before.
We didn't even have a lockdown in 2022, did we?
No. Well, I think in the early 2022, early 2022, there was still a lockdown, but that lifted quite quickly.
Yeah, I thought it stopped at Christmas 2021. But anyway.
No, I think they tried to implement another one between January and March, and that lifted, and a lot of people weren't really sticking to it. Either that or it was the mask mandates they were trying to bring back.
Right.
But either way, it was something that wasn't
a
big factor, especially because the business death rate, which is businesses that close, 14.9% of all businesses, whereas the business birth rate was 12.3%.
Right. So what they're saying is the taxes in Swindon are literally killing the town at a greater rate of death than births for businesses. Amazing.
Yes, and this is happening in lots of towns across the country.
And 80% of that money is just being frittered away.
Let's be honest, it's probably, and this isn't, I don't want to be legally binding with this, so this is my opinion only, probably being laundered among all of the intermediaries between where it's being taken by the council and eventually distributed to those it's supposed to be helping. Yeah, probably. But there was one bit of good news.
Oh, yeah.
One bit. Nothing to do with England, so don't get your hopes up.
There's no good news about England.
But there was one man in the world who decided to show us there's a better way. There is another way. If you have chaos on your streets...
This isn't the guy from El Salvador, is it? Bukele. The Sun King himself.
There it is. Okay. If you've got chaos on your streets, if you have a country, a government that's absolutely suffocating you, there is a better way. Lock them up.
Yeah.
If your streets are filled with criminals, it's incredibly easy if they tattoo on their faces, by the way, I'm a murderer and rapist, to
you can actually just put them in jail. And man, what was the tweet? Who was it? That Sadiq Khan was just
Sadiq Khan
we
said
can't just lock them up, and you just replied with a picture of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's the obvious answer. Yeah. We can't just, I mean, I've
invented this thing called prisons.
Oh my God. No one's ever thought of this before.
Yeah, no, he literally said we can't just lock our way out of this problem or something.
Well, the funny thing was, I had some pushback on that of a lot of people saying, well, it's not quite as easy as it is in El Salvador where they tattooed on their faces that they're a criminal.
Yeah.
Actually,
oh yeah,
it is just as easy because a lot of the crime going on in London, at least with particular demographics, like the black drill rap gangs in Brixton and other places.
Do they tattoo themselves?
No, even better. There is literally a UK drill website called drilluk.com that has a map with the gang territories in it.
Okay.
And they post music videos, wearing masks, but still music videos, bragging about the people that they stab and the crimes that they commit. So if you're going to tell me that Sadiq Khan would have a really difficult time organizing the Met Police to go in and take care of the trouble areas, you're lying. Because it turns out my favorite dictator showed that
He's not a dictator.
Yeah, but I find
literally elected.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny though.
That's what dictators are, mate.
Yeah, literally elected with an overwhelming popular mandate.
Exactly, just like all dictators are. And he showed there is a better way. I mean, currently he's probably under pressure from the US government, under threat of sanctions and economic problems to
release all the prisoners.
To release all of the murderers.
What? Of course, Biden's like, not on my watch.
Yeah, Biden's like, you want peace on the streets? No. But still, for the time being, El Salvador had a record drop in the homicide rate. So that was something good that actually happened in March. So England, not doing great. America, not doing great. El Salvador, though, this is a peak year for them.
Yeah, absolute winning.
Yes, I can cheer somebody on.
Yeah, I'm happy to cheer someone. I'm glad to see that someone somewhere in the world is doing a good job with their own country.
I like the idea that all of the El Salvador government was running around like headless chickens, go, what do we do? What do we do? And then he shows up. Have you tried arresting them?
There's too much liberal human rights red tape. I don't know what we can do. The problem is unsolvable, so we'll just lock them up.
I think he's also, there's term limits for the presidency of El Salvador, and people are saying that, he won't be around forever, though. So he's literally gone to the Supreme Court and said, can I go on for longer than I'm supposed to? And I think they're going to say yes.
Average dictator. Could I please have a bit longer? And the Supreme Court's like, yes.
There you go. Simple as. Love me Bukele, hate me cartels. Simple as.
You retweeted the Distributus the other day?
Oh, yeah, he did, because Distributus was critiquing his style.
Fashion, yeah, because Bukele dresses... He was like, where are the cloaks? Where...
I would like to see him dressed as Zorro.
Because he was saying that Bukele dresses like Mark Zuckerberg. And he's like, no, he wants to see more cloaks and more like, crowns and stuff like that. So Bukele retweets this. It's just funny. I mean, he's got a sense of humor.
South America has set a pretty high standard for that kind of thing, though.
Look cool, man.
Yeah, so that was March. Sorry.
If you appreciated that episode from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go over to the merch store and check out things like the being born in a stable does not make one a horse mug. And if you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at LotusEaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.